Yeah, the journey it feels a lot longer than 8 games for sure. We've been through a lot in our short time together, starting in May and or June when I got hired, and obviously now the 8 games. So the journey's been fantastic. The guys are amazing people first and foremost. They're funny. They all get along. So the energy and the camaraderie is something I haven't really experienced in quite some time. So to be a part of that as my first team is really special. So we're as a coaching staff just trying to harness that and point that positive energy towards understanding that our style of play will work when we do it for 90 minutes and that we can't have lapses like we have had. And so in terms of your question and posing it in the journey in soccer terms is, we're happy where we are, but if we're not shooting ourselves in the foot, our record is a lot better than what it stands right now. So now that we're at the halfway mark, we're at the business end of the meeting, the business end of the season. So for us, it's can we transition these heartfelt, good performances against quality opponents into actual results, and we'll see this Friday starting with Saginaw. Well, historically, they're both really, really good programs. I mean, Saginaw, in the last decade has won a national championship. Parkside's defending champion. So, but you kind of put that aside. It's more about where we are right now. And Saginaw's 4-0 in conference. Parkside's 3-1 in conference. We're looking up at them in third place. So it's really about where they are in the standings and the fact that we get the first two cracks at them at home a week apart, with only having to play one game a weekend. We know that this is a big, important moment in the season. Will it define the whole season? Hopefully it does in a positive way. But for us to sort of take this step in our development as a program, to get some results against this competition would be good in terms of our overall morale. But it's also good in terms of it gives us control of our destiny going into the later part of the season. So we're looking at it. We want to control our destiny late in October. So that starts now, late in September, getting a result at home against a top 10 opponent in Saginaw. Yeah, the progress has been fantastic. What we'd like to see is more of those shots being turned into goals. So I think there's more of a story in the amount of shots we've had in these 8 games versus the amount of goals we've had, because the goal count could be double. In terms of the amount of chances we created, starting with Sunday. We had 10 shots on target, we had breakaways, we had headers. So it's been a very positive in terms of this is the way we want to play. We want to dictate play. We want to have the ball. We want to have the shots. But now at the business end of the season, those chances need to become goals. And at the other end of the field, we can't concede goals like we're conceding. We can't be shooting ourselves in the foot against good opposition. And so we're very, very good in between the goal boxes, right? For those basically 80 yards, we're fantastic. But right now, where we need to get caught up is in both boxes, our own and the opposition's. We need to score the chances that we're creating, and at the same time, when we're in our own area dealing with direct play and long balls and basically a style that's opposite to the way we play, we're doing a good job of managing those moments for the most part, but we're being undone by one really bad moment. And so if we can fix those two things, then we're a really, really tough out. And I would love to host a conference playoff game here at Northern, right? Nobody's going to want to come up here and play. So we're fighting to get in a position not only to make the playoffs, but to host a game or two, potentially the whole thing here at Northern. So that's why these next 3 games are important, not just because it's against your traditional GLIAC powers. That is something that's special, but at the same time, it's about getting results. And so our focus this week is, number one, recovering, improving the things that we need to improve on, which we just spoke about, and then looking at how we can match up against a very, very good Saginaw team. To be fair, I don't really have to sell it. They know it. I think that's the mark of a good team is they expect more. They want more. They know they're capable of more and better. So I don't have to do much. I just have to put them in a position to get those repetitions in training, to keep pointing it out when we can through our video analysis, and just keep training it and keep believing in the guys because they are doing the right things. And so we're not going to change anything. We're not in panic mode. We know we're taking positive steps every game, right? Even with Friday's setback, that's actually, in my opinion, will end up being good for us because now we recognize that we can't come out at 70%. We have to be at 100% every game to try to be competitive. But yeah, they know they expect to score those goals. they're upset with themselves. So for me, it's actually keeping them from getting too hard on themselves and just continuing to believe in their ability. And we're going to put them in a position in training to get those repetitions so that they can feel good about their ability to go score goals and finish those chances. And likewise, the guys in the back, making sure they're in a position in training to get those repetitions so that we're not making the mistakes and what's ultimately attacking transition, where we're giving the ball back to the opposition and then they're scoring. We're going to give those guys repetitions as well to make sure that we're competent and can continue to build out under pressure against good teams in big games. It's much harder to do than it is against an Upper Iowa or St. Cloud, where we're in such control of the game. It's easier for those spaces to open up eventually over time. But when you're playing a good opponent, you're not going to get as many chances on the ball. You're not going to get 15 to 20 shots. You're going to get 9. You're going to get 7. So can you be even more clinical with your finishing with less opportunity? I think that's going to be the message here down the stretch.